my cheese, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. Kamalam Kupumulela Goduga, aka Nondie Gods, aka the Gods. I do hope you click the subscribe button and stay a while. In today's video, I will basically be discussing my full itinerary and also the cost breakdown and just general tips pertaining to traveling as a single woman within the country and particularly the Republic of Cape Town, aka Cape It's Easy. So if you're interested in that, please stay tuned. During my trip, I noted a couple of tips which I thought would be helpful for my G's because guys, there's no more playing coin, playing small. We're on the next level, we're taking it to the tippity top. And I also put up a question tab on Instagram, which I'm grateful for primarily because the stuff that you guys asked, most of the stuff that you guys asked, is stuff that I had already noted. Of course, during the video or during the progression of the video, I will be answering most, if not all, the questions. But always feel free to engage me on either my Instagram or in the comment section down below. But the one resounding question, how much? Of course, like I said, full itinerary and full cost breakdown down to the last penny on how much I spent and how I went about acquiring or saving the money. But anyway, guys, the first point of departure, I'll be looking down a bit because as much as I'm smart, I can't gaya 6 pages of information, but I also don't want this video to be long, so I will try to be swift but also detailed. As I am very pedantic, you'll see that I broke it down. But anyway, guys, the first point of departure was deciding on a place to go. I think you guys are absolutely over the fact that I've been mentioning I want to travel, I was supposed to travel, but COVID, whatever, come on, yes, type of thing, but that was not the case. Of course, I couldn't travel out of the country. I had saved for an international trip, so I decided, man, let me just vula some of my savings and get a sum from that and decide to go to Cape Town. Like I said in one of my vlogs, going to Cape Town is not like waking up and going to Cleansa. You need to save for it because good to wake up. So the first point of departure was deciding on a place, so I narrowed it down to Cape Town. The trip took many forms at a location because that's how God wanted it to be. It was supposed to be a vacation, it was supposed to be a friendcation, and the initial plan, because I had sold the dream or had pitched the idea to Usetu and she bought in, so we looked for accommodation. She was the commandeer of looking for accommodation, and I will always appreciate Usetu because there's no one. I've got a lot of friends, guys, and I love them all equally. But Setu and I have so much in common. We literally like the same things and we want the same things. So it was easy traveling. So she went on to Airbnb and she looked at choices or options for us to pick from. She gave me 3, and obviously I'm like, Tommy, I don't have a lot of money, but I'm not looking to spend more than a certain amount of money. So my friend narrowed down everything and we put in our request for one Airbnb, which is the one we ended up getting, and it's called Luxury Stay at Docklands. It's in Prestwich Street in the Cape Town CBD, like 5 minutes away from the VNA and. So she put in our request, and then in December I think she was getting a bonus, and I had only just unlocked my fixed deposit, so I was going to get the money in Jan, Feb, that type of thing. So she put down the deposit, which was 1.6, and our entire stay amounted to 3,200 rand for 3 nights because it was a long weekend. We booked from the 19th of March to the 21st. We were going to check out on the 22nd in the morning. Because the Monday, Human Rights Day fell on a Sunday, so the 22nd Monday was Human Rights Observed. So for those 3 nights it was 3.2, so she paid the deposit like I had said, and then I paid the balance, which was another 1.6. 10 out of 10 would recommend Docklands, guys. It is everything that I anticipated and more. And it's also affordable because if you break it down per person, it was about 600 rand because we were traveling initially. But it's a 3-sleeper. 3 people can fit in. Obviously 2 people in the queen bed because it's the queen bed. provided there, obviously. And then there's also a sleeper couch. If you guys watched my vlog, a guy friend of mine came over on the Saturday, then we got too drunk, so he couldn't leave. So he slept on the sleeper couch and it didn't have any problems. It seemed comfortable. He said he had to sleep on the couch because he ain't Boaz, is he now? So we ain't crossing lines, or what? Blurring the lines, rather. Yeah, but so if you're traveling in a group of 3, you could obviously book that. But also keep in mind that if say to, like, I will always be grateful for her. If say to if I didn't plan the trip with Usted and she had paid the half, I wouldn't have necessarily stayed at Docklands. I would have looked at something cheaper, and I promise you there would be a number of Airbnbs within that area, like Sea Point, Green Point type of thing, CBD, for about 600-700 rand a month. I mean, a day. So you're looking at about 2,000 rand. So I would say put away 2,000 rand for accommodation. I don't want to speak a lot on the place you guys saw. It is absolutely central, and the reason why we settled down on getting a city accommodation versus the seaside is because, guys, the seaside is going to set you back about 2,000 rand a night, especially if you're looking at Camps Bay type of side, Clifton type of side, and even a hotel type of thing like the Mali, I think, and places like that. You're looking at 3K 2K per night. Yeah, well, and I'm not very partial to paying that much for accommodation because chances are I won't be staying at the accommodation. I'm there to take a shower, lock my stuff away, and sleep. Yeah, well, not necessarily anything fancy. I'm not a 5-star type of person, because I'd rather invest my money in experiences than a bed, because here's my bed, it's comfortable, and I'm always gonna come back to it type of thing. And if you, like I said, you're looking at a higher amount, so in order to make your money stretch, I would definitely suggest inland or in the city, and then you could always go to the beach. Seth and I won't press to book for a seaside type of thing, primarily because we live at the seaside, so we won't press at all. And you're literally paying for the view. So I would 10 out of 10 recommend. I will obviously leave the link to my Airbnb down below. Also, if you're new to Airbnb, I'll leave my link so you can get like 1,200 rand off your trip should you travel. Yeah, but then second of all, we had to look for flights. Going to Cape Town, guys, is very expensive. Yeah, but so the only airline that is available at this moment, I think Kula used to, and Mango, but obviously since the break of the chicken panini, the outbreak of the chicken panini, things have changed. So Fly SA has monopolized that route. So we booked for Friday. Obviously there's only 2 flights, one in the evening and one in the morning. Evening being late afternoon, like 5 o'clock, I think, but we booked the morning one because we wanted a full day in Cape Town. That left at 20 to 8 and got to Cape Town 10 past 10. That cost us 1,000 rand each, so it was 2,000 rand a person. My issue is with flying. I'm not well versed in flying, so I made the rookie mistake of booking no luggage in, which is very important, but it's something I'm going to note at the end. It's very important to have emergency money, guys, because I ended up having to pay for luggage, which was 250, so it was 7 rand on top of, whereas I would have paid 100 rand if on top of, so basically rounded off, it would have been 2.2 per person. So that is basically our flying. The flying was not bad at all. The route is basically straightforward. Like there's nothing much. Like if you want to know all of that, go into my vlogs and you'll find my emotion towards that. So that's the option we spoke when it came to, we took when it came to flying. Then you guys' favorite part, and the itinerary and cost breakdown. Like so many of you guys asked me, how much? I'm like, I am here, and that is it. Obviously, guys, when it comes to traveling and planning a vacation, I would say do not leave your house unganai itinerary, because you're going to be bored. Number one, that was your guys' other question. Did you not get bored? Were you not anxious? No. Well, don't leave your house ungana plan. just generally in life. Don't wake up in the morning and go on a plan. Know exactly where you're going and how much you're going to spend. Yeah, well, for me that is so important because I don't want to find myself bored, and I don't want to find myself in a position of having overspent. Yeah, well, because I'm obviously on a budget. I don't have limitless funds, but soon that will change. Yeah, well, but ultimately, itinerary, guys, you look at the budget. Like, I was like, let's work around the 2,000 rand mark. I didn't want to spend more than 6,000 rand on this trip because that is a lot of money on its own, and it's money that I'm taking away from another experience. But obviously that experience has been put on hold indefinitely, and that experience is me traveling internationally. So now I've got something else to work towards, but I was able to buy from lo mali that I had put away. Yeah, well, just to give myself, just to congratulate myself having done so well in my last semester, performed so well in my last semester. But anyway, guys, close 2,000 rand. Obviously, you look at things like obviously on Instagram, obviously on Facebook, you're obviously on YouTube, and you see, oh, this is what people do in Cape Town. They go wine tasting, they go quad biking, and. So, what are my interests? Oh, I'm a brunch and a breakfast. I'm a breakfast, brunch, and lunch babe. Like, those are my things. Sundowners here and there, but I'm not really a dinner person because I don't like pictures of suku, and I don't eat after 7. So I don't wanna, as much as vacation, nothing is accounted for type of thing. But as you know, you don't wanna just go all the way to the other side because it's gonna be hard to bring yourself back. So you look at the first point of departure the first activity that I looked at was quad biking, because you guys know that I enjoy quad biking. Kanjonga Atlantis Dunes quad biking, babes. 860 rand. To get to Atlantis from where we were staying was going to be 300 rand there and back. I'm like, that's literally my flight ticket. So that was off the menu. Literally, guys, arena 180 quad biking. So if I want the experience, I'll go next door. So those are the things that you need to look at. Sometimes it's okay to stick to the lakes and rivers that you're used to. Yeah, well, so quad biking was off. So I had to look at different things. If Sage and I were going together, there's certain things, guys, with traveling alone and all that you can do. Yeah, well, and then others need a group. On our initial itinerary, Sage and I were going to go to Steenberg for wine tasting, which was like 150 for 4 wines and stuff like that. But getting there was going to be about 400 rand, so I had to forego that primarily because it was just not worth it. Paying 400 rand to spend 100 rand just didn't make any sense for me, so I had to forego that. We were also planning to go to Rands, which is, I'm gonna go back to Cape Town. Like, it's inevitable, long together. So it's a matter of going to Rands as well was going to be expensive, and I didn't think it was necessarily safe for me to go alone. Called up some of my friends in Cape Town. Obviously, it was a long weekend. People had plans, but I was okay with everything. So I'm like, the safest option for me is to stick to my jurisdiction, so to speak, within, like, close to where I was living. And what I did was download the Uber and the Bolt app. So I was comparing prices. Type in 70 Prestwich, Divatakant, whatever, to Marbury and Prince. It showed me 20 rand. So that's how I was able to plan from my bedroom. So when I got to Cape Town, I had at least an idea of how much I'm going to have to use on transport. So basically, day one, I decided to get a boat trip, a boat cruise or a boat trip, which is an hour. And I booked a little boat, which was at 250 rand. And I booked it on a site called waterfrontcharters.co.za. But everything that I'm speaking of that I'm able to link, I will link down below. I promise I am doing so much better with linking things down in the description box. But I basically booked for 1:30 because I was going to land at 10 past, and then I also requested an early check-in. Guys, English, 10 go about. Our host Anthea was very, very nice. She's like, if there's no one books the day before you guys, then I will be able to give you guys an early check-in. But besides that, there's nothing I can do. But there's a lock up and go type of section at the accommodation. So if you guys arrive early, you could obviously leave your stuff there and then wander into the city. But go Tito, I'm through and through. I got an early check-in. So I got to my place and I changed. My boat ride was for 1:30. 1:30 comes and I was a little bit late. I get to the place. they told me, baby girl, you were the only one on that cruise, so we're going to put you on another one. The whole story is, the whole testimony is in my previous vlog. I have to keep referring to my previous vlog because this video is going to run forever if I keep repeating myself. So that was the boat I eventually went on to. The boat I eventually went on to was called the Enigma. It was actually a yacht, and it travels at it goes out at 2:30, and it was 400. It's normally 480, but I'll leave down all the options. It's even sunset cruises and stuff like that. Since we're talking about the cost breakdown, guys, I just saw in my notes that I need to go back. I landed in Cape Town at 10:30, I think, while getting my luggage and stuff. Then I requested a Bolt and it was 120. Then luckily, I'm like, since I'm not going to be able to go to the waterfront, come back home, and then go back again, let me just get some stuff at the shops at the airport. Luckily, there was a Woolies. So I got myself some snacks and then some sushi because I was feeling a bit peckish. But then obviously, when I got to my accommodation, I was running late. So I spent 300 Rand at Woolies there. And then I told you guys the cost of my boat going from my place to the VNA was basically 20 Rand. And the reason why I said download both the Uber and the Taxify app is because sometimes Uber gets so congested, you can always jump into Bolt, or you could vice versa, and depending on the pricing you can compare. Then I obviously went onto the boat. Incredible experience. So incredible. And they sell drinks obviously on the boat. A Savannah goes for 30 bucks, so I bought like 2, but I paid 70 Rand just to tip the guy because it was so awesome. Our skipper was so awesome. Played the best music ever. 10 out of 10 would recommend that boat. And then I went home. I was about to go to the VNA, like inside, just do some window shopping, but I ended up not because when I say I plan, guys, I plan my time to the T. So I'm like, the sun's gonna go down and I really want to go to the poolside type of thing. So after my boat ride, I rushed back home. My Taxify or Uber was 20 Rand again. And then I got to the pool, grabbed my sushi and my shampoos that I got gifted from my cousin. And I had it by the poolside. So that was the end of day one. I took a shower. The place is fully equipped with Wi-Fi and Netflix and YouTube, so I was just binge watching that. And there's a couple of girls that I had met on the cruise, and they invited me out to souk. I'm not a club girl, and I was not gonna compromise myself, even if I was on holiday. It just wasn't worth it because I was looking forward to the next day and slaying some more. So that was the end of day one. Then quickly rushing into day two. Obviously I woke up, and then I had made reservations to go to the Grand Beach and Cafe. It's a beach cafe, absolutely beautiful, where the money resides, guys. Yo, had such an awesome time. So the most beautiful yacht and people jet skiing. I'm like, this is me off of the Amalfi Coast, guys. Like, manifesting like crazy. I literally called this trip my manifestation trip, guys. Morally be phezulu right throughout. Yeah, well, and I think you guys saw that because you guys' comments on the video on my vlog were just incredible. I was so overwhelmed. Thank you so much for the love, and I'm happy that it translated the way in which I wanted it to. So I made the reservations for 11 o'clock. They are ordinarily a lunch place, but I went for brunch, obviously. And what I did, guys, was all the bookings that you made besides the boat cruise, I did online on an app called Dine Plan. So what you do is you go onto the site that you're looking for, like the restaurant that you're looking for or the place that you're looking for. Then it gives you a book online option. Then it leads you to Dine Plan. So Dine Plan, you book on the site. Then Dine Plan sends you an email. So when you go on the Dine Plan app, your itinerary is there. You have a booking at 12, you have a booking at 1 at Steenberg, you have a booking at the Grand at 11. And then if you have something overlapping, it will tell you you can't make this booking because you have something closer to the time. It's the coolest thing ever. I feel as the new implements the COVID should stay in place even post-COVID, guys, because they're so efficient and convenient rather than walking to a place. Because at Mulberry and Prince, which I went to on Sunday, people were just being turned away because the venue was filled to capacity. So imagine driving all the way, Ubering all the way to somewhere and told you it's full to the brim. It's just a waste of money and time. So also a tip for traveling alone: always book a table for 2. even after the set had cancelled and I had to change the itinerary a bit, I booked a table for two because I didn't want to find myself in a position of where they put me in a dingy corner because I'm alone, or I end up sitting with someone else. They ask you someone's coming, I mean, I can't do you. They're probably for 2 hours, 3 hours max, and you're gone. You know what I mean? So I got to the Grand, my Uber from my place, the Waterkant, which is Docklands. I'm going to use those interchangeably, because I think the area is called the Waterkant, but I'm not too sure of everything. Also to note, guys, you could walk anyway, but I'm just not generally a walker. I'm a lady of leisure. I need to be driven around. You know what I mean? So Uber and Bolt were A1 for me, and they worked perfectly well. So it was like a 28 rand because it's Saturday morning. Had a bit of trouble finding transport, but I ended up getting a Bolt because I was using Uber there. But yeah, it was just I ended up arriving there. Beautiful stuff. Like I said, they're a lunch spot, so the menu is very limited. That's the one thing that's the only con that I have. The menu is very limited. It's basically got pastas and pizzas, and I think some seafood, but nothing major. Also affordable. My bill there, I had a chicken pizza and like 4 Savannahs or something. My chicken pizza, and then everything amounted to 200 and something, but I ended up paying 300 rand, including my tip. So that was absolutely amazing. My Uber home was 30 rand. So then I got to my place, changed into my swimsuit, and went to go sunbathe at the rooftop. Nothing costed me zero, actually, because the place that we got had a pool, and that was one of my specifications, because I'm not necessarily going to go swim in the ocean. Even if I'm in a seaside place, I'm going to say a tropical place. What is tropical? But anyway, I was in Cape Town, which has a beach, but I just prefer the sea. I mean, I prefer the pool because I love swimming. You guys know that. And this going to the beach is just like the sand, everything. It's just for, I like it for aesthetics, and the fact that I know the comfort of the fact that I've got a beach right here, but not to actually swim in the sea because, baby girl. Then I just chilled there, had my snacks, had a bit of water because I had too much from the Sundowners that I had. Then I had reservations for the Williston bar at the Silo Hotel, which, yo guys, so inspired. I'm so inspired. Like I felt myself literally leveling up because there's no corner of Cape Town I feel is not pretty. Of course, of course, I'm speaking from a place of privilege ish. But I couldn't what I was exposed to. Yeah, well, I'm not ignorant to the realities and the disparities of the wealth and the wealth and the poor. I'm not, guys. I'm not. You guys know that. I'm far too educated, but I'm speaking like this because I can right now at this point in time. So I had reservations at the Williston bar for 4:30, and what they did, Warner, they said in order to confirm my booking, I needed to pay 200 rand in lieu of my bill. So it was 100 rand per person because I booked for two, so minimum spend was 100 rand per person just to confirm my booking, and that would be suited towards your bill. So what I did when I got there, I spent about 114, and they gave me a cocktail for free. Thank you, Raphael. Obviously I know you're not watching this, but they gave me a cocktail for free, and I was already shushu. The one thing I will say about the Williston bar, but I understand it's just a bar. They do have a restaurant which they could order food, but I just thought, whatever. Their menu is very, I thought they would have cute type of stuff, but it's very limited. So I'd say 10 recommend for the cocktails and drinks, and bring a lambang anyway, just having a good time. Vibes gave me very much New York 1920s, Great Gatsby, and it was just chilled. It was very chilled, you know. Like I was saying in one of my videos about, you just see the money. It's where the money resides. Yeah, well, my Uber there was 20 rand back, and I was able to leave Raphael at 86 rand tip because my bill didn't feel like 200, so he kept my change basically. And I like that paying prior, like you're getting a voucher type of thing, because I paid it like 3 days before I went, so I didn't have to worry about money or overspending because I already paid beforehand. Yeah, well, so basically I went home, and then my friend came through, and then he's like, oh, you want some drinks? So we got some drinks via Uber app. So download via Uber Eats, so download that. They're reasonable. The price is the same. I think Carrie Break of Savannah is about 90 rand. So if you're a drinker, definitely get the Uber Eats app, because when you're in a new place, I was working at this Mogul type of thing, so rather get that. And they closed it at around 8, so we started drinking at around 7, and then that grew by the whole night type of thing. And we also had some champers, so it was chilled. And then that was the end of day 2. Then day 3, I made bookings at a place called Mulberry and Prince. Absolutely loved it. A cute little spot. You guys know I love these quaint niche restaurants. So I made my booking for 10 o'clock. They're a strictly breakfast place because they open at 10 o'clock and they close at 2. So my Bolt, because it was in Pepper Street and I was in Prestwich, it's around the same area type of thing, I'd say, but not a walking distance, and it's not safe for a young lady like me to be walking in a place that I don't know. Yeah, but and obviously you know the vibes. Yeah, well, so it's always safe to just take a Bolt. They also had bicycles there, but yeah. But anyway, yeah, your options, your mode of transport are limitless. So it was a very quaint little spot. It was more than I had imagined it to be. It was very cute. I enjoyed myself. The place in comparison to everything that I'd spent in Cape Town prior to that, it was a little bit pricey, but I didn't mind, primarily because when I never but I obviously, it was my last day, so I knew exactly where I was in terms of my financial standing. And I ordered the normal breakfast, which was around 140, and then I ordered sparkling water because I was a little bit hungover, no type of thing. Ordinarily I wouldn't pay 55 rand for water, and also my Rossini, which is basically champers and strawberry puree, which is basically a play on the mimosa, the orange mimosa, but they use strawberry puree versus orange juice. It was like 100 rand for a glass, so I wouldn't ordinarily pay that much, but it was whatever. So my bill there was 400 rand. Then obviously took a Bolt home for 28 rand. And then I went to the pool for a proper swim. So I chilled and finished off all the savannas that I had, and just basically tied up the place. I had made reservations to a place called 15th on Orange Autograph Collection. It's a hotel and it was a rooftop bar. So they said when the minimum spend to be at the rooftop is about 250 rand. I'm like, that's okay, it's reasonable, and I'm only going to end up spending that 250 rand anyway, because in that mandot, if I get a bottle of wine for like 100 and something or 200 rand, then probably get food for 150 would have been within my budget. But I forgot that because I was very tired and I wanted to start packing and stuff like that, because anxiety was stepping in or seeping in. Yeah, well, so I literally just went to the pool. That was just the highlight of my holiday. Like, when I was watching my vlog back, which makes me so happy, when I put on my shades, have a sip of Savannah, go back into the pool, that was just the highlight for me. But watch that vlog if you haven't seen it. Absolutely love it. Came back from the pool, took a shower, started putting my stuff together. Then around 7, while I was watching some YouTube, watching myself on the big screen, I ordered some McDonald's, which is about 70 rand. And then Pela, staycation, I guess, a location. Literally. And then I took, which was the end of day 3, let me just go by my notes, took an Uber to the airport for 180. It was a bit hefty because Bolts were not available at that time. My flight was at 8, so I decided to leave the place at like 6 or 5:30 now, yeah, 5:30, 6. Then I got to the airport and I spent like 70 rand at Wimpy, and then I took my flight. Very quick, very, very, very quick. Took my flight and then got to East London, didn't need anything at the airport, came straight home, and my Bolt cost me 70 rand. So that was the end of my location. The best days of my life, guys. Like, there's nothing could have been better. I feel nothing would have been better. Yeah, but so like I said, guys, there's just a couple of things to note in addition. This video is going to 30 minutes, but I needed to say everything that I need to say. I wasn't waffling. Yeah, but like I said, I wouldn't have stayed at where I stayed if it wasn't for Say so Nyanchomi. Thank you so much. I know there are many more vacations to come because we have plans for ourselves as God has plans to prosper us. Yeah, well. But of course, like I said, you could find Airbnbs. Just do your research, guys. I promise you will find Airbnbs for about 600, 700 rand per night. So if you're traveling alone, you could spend 2 nights in Cape Town, which will amount to 1.4. Yeah, well. But besides that, our flight tickets were not tied together, so I didn't have a problem with going alone because it's like I was dependent on Sage. It was not dependent on me. We were gonna go half on things, which is another reason why maybe I would say I ended up not going to Steenberg, because if I had someone to share the 400 rand bolt ride with, it would have been much more easy and made more sense. So that's why I forgo to that. Yeah, well. You guys also asked me just some general tips for solo travel. You guys asked me if I hired a car. Guys, I'm a lady of leisure and I've been driving since I was 12. So driving for me is literally a chore. So if I'm going to be driven around any day, and I go 3 guys, and also it just saves you a lot. Hiring a car, the last time I checked, you had to have a deposit of like 2 to 3,000 rand on a credit card, and just the petrol, and they're getting lost, and you're alone, hijacks, all that stuff. So you literally just chilling in your bed. You want to go somewhere, you request, they come, they drop you off there, have to worry about parking and the car getting stolen and stuff like that, especially in big cities. So Bolt, Uber, any given day. Download both. I would recommend to download both so that if one's not available, you obviously hail the other one. Then also, in terms of my packing, guys, always look at the weather app, obviously, do that, but also travel strategically. I mean, don't go in the dead of winter to Cape Town because it's raining day in, day out. Go to Durban rather, you know what I mean. I looked at the weather, it was around 22, 23, and you guys know I revel in that kind of weather. I hate, guys, it 28, 30, I hate hot weather, guys. I'm a spring baby and I'm happy with mid temperatures. Not too cold, not too hot. Don't want to sweat, I just want to be sitting. Yeah, what am I going to say? So I obviously traveled in March, beginning of autumn type of vibe, but it was very warm. I did pack my leather biker jacket with me because I was gonna go with all my outfits, and I was warm guys and when they asked but no ku 33 akadlali, so at least nje uthi xa emagxeni carry it's a jacket, not a coat. I wouldn't say cold weather, but like I said, travel strategically. I don't think traveling to destinations like Cape Town, like tropical destinations during winter, makes sense, type of thing. Rather go, if I'm going to Lesotho, I know I'm going to pack accordingly, but always look at the weather and pack accordingly, because you don't want to find yourself wanting. And then, like you guys asked me if I was scared, guys. No. Now, even in my vlog, when I opened my vlog, guys, before you go anywhere, pray. That's what I did, and I felt safe. I never felt threatened or trepidatious in any way. My anxiety subsided as soon as I landed in Cape Town. I'm like, this trip is in your hands. So if you want to make it incredible, it's going to be incredible. If you want to make it shit, it's going to be shit. Yeah, well, the only time I was scared is during flying, guys, but I'm working on it. I'm really working on it. It wasn't as scary. The only time it got scary is when we were getting into East London and they told us we're going to have to make a couple of turns. Now, these couple of turns are on top of the sea. Hey! These are no Hail Marys. Hey, they will go, but okay, surrender safely. And then another tip, guys, I would suggest you book your holiday off peak during the week if you can take that sort of a leave. If I knew initially that I was going to have to go alone, I would have definitely done my trim time from a Wednesday to a Friday or to a Saturday, because things are much cheaper and there's less people to deal with, type of thing. And well, off peak is obviously during not Easter, not Christmas, not summer per se, because most of the summer, I think October, November, December, then January, February off, and then March again is like Easter type of thing. Then I think the whole of winter becomes off peak. But just do your research and try booking during the week, because obviously it is cheaper. Then towards the end, guys, even if you're not a YouTuber or anything of the sort, or not interested in social media, if you're going to travel alone, invest in a tripod. If you are a selfie stick girl, get the tripod that I use for my YouTube videos. I shared it with you once in my videos, but I'll take a picture and pop it up here for you guys. But it's basically, it becomes a selfie stick. Then you can bring it up or down, or you can just you can mount it because it's got 3 legs and it's also got a Bluetooth remote. So everyone was asking me, we want to see, well, not everyone, a couple of my friends are like, we want to see the guy behind the camera because he's taking such good pictures of you. It is I and my tripod, you know what I mean? So get that. I got mine for 180 at Thousandwood at the mall, or at the spa. We call it the spa. So they have some on Take A Lot. So look into that. And also be very nice to the people who serve you. I don't know why I have to mention this because it goes without saying. Just be courteous because they end up being your photographers. Most of the pictures that I took at restaurants, everything, I didn't use my tripod. But the ones I took at the pool and the place that I stayed were with my tripod. So just be nice to people in general as a person. Just have... always travel with extra money, like 1,000 rand. I'd say like maximum 1,000 rand, because during a trip, like, certain things just come out of the blue. Like I said, I had to pay for extra luggage, which I didn't budget for, but the KwaZulu Shengleza and everything was sorted out. So just always have emergency money. If you don't end up using that emergency money, you're obviously gonna use it to shop, so we're always keen for that. Then I would highly recommend to spend your money on experiences rather than drinking alcohol. Alcohol is going to deplete your budget to zero. Number two, you're going to have a hangover, and you could always drink where you live. I could literally buy myself a bottle of gin, drink in my house, pass out, do the same thing. I can do that in East London, but what's the point of doing it in Cape Town? Yes, have a drink on there, but manage it, because you're going to miss out on so much. Because for now, when I say papalas, you can't even look beat for the gods, because when only papalas, they make up clearly here. So highly recommend to spend your money on experiences versus alcohol. Then you guys also asked me, like, how do I save as a student? Guys, my mom used to always say this to me. I never understood up until today, or up until recently. And with having said that, I say that to say that people spend money on things that they want. If you can spend 800 rand on a bottle that is ordinarily 120 during lockdown, then unaimali definitely, and you can also afford to go to Cape Town and or whatever the case is. Saving, guys, is this is what I want and I'm gonna get it at all costs. And another thing, guys said, but how long did it take you, and stuff like that. I'm not saving for, that's another thing that increases morale or brings a person's morale down. But I want to go to Cape Town in December, then it doesn't happen in December, then you start becoming suicidal. I know I'm being dramatic, but you become so disappointed. Manage your disappointment. I'm saying this so that save as much as you can when you can, then go when you can. It's as simple as that. Even if it's 5 years from now, no one is gonna know that this is what you're saving for. You know what I mean? No one knows. Your plans are your own and God's. So you're gonna tell yourself, oh, I want to go to Cape Town. I'll go to Cape Town. So save as much as you can when you can. Sacrifice here to be happy there. I'm always gonna say that. That's just my saving mentality. There's no science to it. Then, guys, to round off the video rather, I have one pro and one con in terms of traveling alone or also location. The first con is obviously when you travel alone, there's no dedicated photographer. That's the only thing I was worried about, guys. That was the only thing that I was worried about. I'm like, more than 40, but I'm like, but the con, the pro, which trumps everything else just doesn't matter, is the fact that you are in your own time and you don't have to consider anyone else, which is the highest form of freedom and happiness for me. I revel in being alone. You guys know, like I shared with you my home vlog, I grew up alone type of thing. Yes, I have my brothers, but we grew up in a secluded farm area. So being alone for me is not scary, it's not trepidatious. And that's when I thrive. I go to people, but to recharge, I have to be alone. Yeah, well. And in terms of safety, I never felt threatened at all. I just don't know why. The only place I don't feel safe in is Joburg. I don't even want to lie. That's why I told myself I'm not going to I go back with 20,000 bodyguards, but still, you know what I mean. It's threatening. Like, it's just bad. But yeah, hopefully things get better for Joburg. I'll go visit, but I'll never go alone. That's the one place I'll never go to alone. Yeah, but Cape Town, I felt safe. I never felt any threat at any point in time. Yeah, well, just to sign off the video, guys, I leave you with this. Even once in a lifetime, what? Let's do that again. I leave this with you. Even once in your lifetime, more if you can, take a solo location. 10 out of 10 would recommend. If there's anything that I might have left out, please feel free to comment or engage. I'm ready to plan your solo locations with you guys. Honestly, consult me, suggestions, outfit plan, and everything. And there's another thing I might have forgotten in terms of outfit planning. Look at the itinerary. I plan my outfits versus basically everything's planned to the T. Versus my itinerary. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to the Grand. What do I want to give off? What do I want to give off? Yeah, well, so that's how I plan my outfits. But anyway, guys, that brings us to the end of the video. Please don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.